I would like to just point out that is the number one thing that will help you and me and anybody who, going through life and dealing with the shit we deal with. Things come up. I mean, tragedies happen. We're constantly facing adversities. I call them the potholes in life. You're going to face potholes. You're going to have, speed bumps, and you're going to hit roadblocks. I wasn't connected to my intuition at that time. I was nervous. I was in my head. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. Wanted to go back to work. Was pissed off that I was hurt. Was listening to the doctors. Was scared about my injury.
The ultimate compliment is to be considered an asset by those who know you. But what exactly does that mean? And how do we get there? I believe that there is a less discussed approach to becoming a person of value, a person who is successful, respected by others, and fulfilled. It's somewhere between the hustle culture and the ease and flow of manifestation. This podcast is designed to be a resource for the ambitious, the relentless, and the rare who are breaking societal norms, going against the grain, and are open to unconventional practices as we study what it takes to be a true asset in every area of life. My hope is that you'll find this podcast unique and like it enough to share it with a friend and maybe even one day join us at one of our in-person events. Enjoy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. For brand new to me, I want to welcome you, ask you to brace yourself a little bit, because today we're going to talk some truth. I think I talk truth all the time. But I want to talk to you a little bit about something that some of my clients are facing. My DMs they get filled with a lot of time, and I want to address this. I want to be able to give you some support so that you can maybe just really understand you're not alone. And what I want to talk to you about today is if you abruptly get injured at your job, like me, or if you get fired, or if you have to medically retire, if there is a reason you have to quit your job and you were not expecting to quit your job and be out of the career so quickly, that can be devastating. That can be absolutely devastating for somebody. It can knock you on your ass, and it can cause you a severe depression, anxiety, identity loss. For me, I was couch ridden. I was in bed. I was so, overcome with depression and anxiety. Online, nobody could tell anything was going on, but my husband and my family, they all knew. Everybody knew that I wasn't okay, but I definitely put on a great front, and it's something I think we all do. But so how do we deal with that? I'm just going to be honest. I don't really think there's a formula or a linear way of dealing with it. I think it's going to be different for everybody, but we're all going to go through similar emotions, and we're all going to go through a process. What happens is people want to skip that process. The process is you dealing with your emotions and feeling how you feel and being okay with how you feel. That's I would like to just point out that is the number one thing that will help you and me and anybody who, going through life and dealing with the shit we deal with. Things come up. I mean, tragedies happen. We're constantly facing adversities. I call them the potholes in life. You're going to face potholes. You're going to have, speed bumps, and you're going to hit roadblocks. And it is not easy. It is not easy. Life is not an easy road. It was not meant to be. We're here to learn. We're here to learn deep soul lessons. And if we do not learn these lessons, we're going to continue to experience it over and over and over again. And part of that learning curve is accepting who you are, number one, and how you feel. And so many people do not accept how they feel, especially if you're in a first responder or military culture, if you're type A, if you're trying to fit in, if you're, if you aren't okay with who you are, all of the things, you are going to struggle with this, and you struggling with how you feel is keeping you in a very shitty spot. It's keeping you feeling depressed and anxiety stricken and continuously looking for outside approval. That is the trap. I was there. I mean, man, oh man, was I there. And, a lot of people from my department, I talked to some of them, but like there was a lot that didn't talk to me because there was a memo that came out that said that they couldn't talk to me. Later found that out, and that was actually probably not really legal, but whatever happened. And so I felt very alienated. I felt very all by myself. Nobody understood me. That is, it took me a couple of years, but that's what really prompted me to start this podcast, is because I was literally stuck in my own grief for 2 years. I mean, I moved forward and I was helping people. I was coaching, and I was helping people with in fitness. I was helping them with their spirituality, with their intuition, with business. I was doing business coaching. I started dabbling in helping first responders. I had been helping first responders all along because that's who related to me. But I started dabbling in just emotional resiliency for first responders. And the first part of that was this podcast. So if you're interested, go back and listen to the first 10 episodes. You're going to hear a very raw Autumn, very raw, not polished, hurt. She's very hurt. She had not processed this stuff yet. Nobody told me it's okay to make friends with that feeling. My teacher always says, you need to make friends with that feeling. It's okay to feel that way. Allow yourself to feel that way. Nobody ever told me that. So I just would try to shove it down. I gained a lot of weight. I gained a lot of fucking weight. I gained 25, 30 pounds. And I was still very active. Adam and I, we are very active people. If you ever see my husband, he's in incredible shape. He never gets out of shape. He has amazing genetics. The family, they're very thin, very in shape naturally. I don't have those genetics, but we're very active couple. And so it wasn't because I was lazy and sitting on my ass, after I was couch ridden, of course. And even when I was couch ridden, I still could walk, just not for long periods, long distances or long periods. And I was still doing that very heavily into PT, trying to get better. And that's a whole different story for another day, because I could go on about how I'm actually not better, and how people on the internet / probably old coworkers or people, around love to say that I have a mysterious injury. Now, I promise that is another conversation for another day, but here's the deal. That's happening to you. If you abruptly had to get done your job, it doesn't matter first responder or not, you are dealing with people, you're dealing with all these emotions of embarrassment. You feel what the fuck just happened? You're confused. You don't know what to do next. And then you're also feeling like you don't fit in, and you're feeling like you don't belong. And you're feeling, quite honestly, very vulnerable. This is probably when you're at your most vulnerable right now. And you literally are just looking for someone to come scoop you up, give you the direction, point you in the way. That could happen. Somebody could come do that. Now, here's the deal. I know that's what we're all looking for, because I know I really had no idea what I was going to do with my life. I knew what I wanted. I've always wanted to be a professional speaker. And that is why when I was on the job full time, they would always send me to speak. Always. I would speak at the Citizens Academy. They sent me to go speak at women's groups at churches. They sent me, my first department would send me, I taught women's self-defense with another officer. I was always speaking. I was going to colleges and speaking on panels. I was very active. I knew that's what I wanted to do, but it wasn't, obviously, you don't get hurt, do all these things and okay, I'm going to go be a speaker. It's a process, I mean, maybe you do. I don't really know, but I was not in that position to go and be okay, I'm going to go be a world-renowned speaker. I'm still on that journey. Right. But, you feel like you just got kicked on your head is what happens. Where you're at right now is you feel like you got kicked on your head, and that feeling may still be like lasting. It might be a lasting feeling, or you may have processed it, handled it, accepted it, and moved on. I'm going to give you some advice. The advice is this, is that because everybody is always like, okay, well, Autumn, like, now what do I do? I don't have that answer. And in fact, you're the only person who has that answer. And the step that you are skipping by not tuning in and going within on a daily practice and asking yourself these deep, hard questions, the more you skip this and you do not do this, the longer it's going to take for you to heal, the longer it's going to take for you to get back. I still believe you're on your path, but the longer it's going to take for you to feel like you're back on your path, if that makes sense. You're running from doing the work. Clearly, you had to fall on your face because the universe has probably been trying to talk to you for a while. You haven't been willing to listen. It was the same with me. I was working all the time, all these things, and the universe had to kick me on my ass and for me to listen, because otherwise I wouldn't keep my head down, and that was it. And that wasn't the plan. But I wasn't willing to listen. There was things that will happen prior to us getting the big kick on the head, or, kick on the butt, whatever. But we choose not to listen. And so if you are down at your rock bottom, like I was, and you're choosing to continue not to listen to what your inner guidance, that your gut is telling you to do, it's going to be longer. Like you're gonna end up in a shitstorm again. I promise, because that's what happens. I've done it. I've done this. I'm literally, this is my life. This is me speaking my truth. And, so when just to tell you a story so you can process what I'm trying to tell you. So I get injured and I take some classes, I hire a coach. It's about the only thing I could do at that time. It's couch ridden. You guys know that. Couldn't stand for long periods. My legs were going numb all the time. My lowest back was killing me. Sitting, I could only sit for about 15 minutes. It was just killing me. The only way that I could really deal with things for like 6 months was laying on my back. Had to go invest in a very expensive mattress. I couldn't wear jeans, any kind, like very, very loose sweatpants, very loose shorts. Cause, in the summertime, and, very loose, like yoga, like they couldn't be tight, could not be tight. Like that was the deal. I was icing, heating. I was in therapy, 5 days a week to begin with. And then I went down to 3, and it was, I was hurting. That, people like to talk shit and say, well, you work out, you run, you that. If you go and look at my social media, I think it took me 2 years to be able to run 1 mile since my back injury. And a lot of me going to the gym was my PT. So, which is physical therapy, building my core and building my back. There were very lightweight deadlifts that my physical therapist had me do, and lightweight, just a lot of core stabilizing shit. But people love to come to me and say, oh, you're faking, and anybody with an injury, whether it be a mental one or a physical one, what I'm talking about, because you get so frustrated. You're like, dude, listen, I don't want this. I'm not faking this, and I do not want this. It has caused me a lot of issues. There's a lot of things in my life that I would like to continue to do, but right now I just cannot do it. So going back, so here I am, and I abruptly, my doctor, like everything just fucking happened. Literally, it felt like overnight. Everything did happen within a span of a few days. And I didn't know what to do, didn't know where to turn. And next thing you know, just all this stuff is going on. And so I wasn't connected to my intuition at that time. I was nervous. I was in my head. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. Wanted to go back to work, was pissed off that I was hurt, was listening to the doctors, was scared about like my injury. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you're enjoying it and getting some good stuff, mind shifting things from this. I just wanted to remind you super quick that if we are not hanging out on social media, we should be. You should come hang out with me. I am The Autumn Clifford on Instagram. I'm Autumn Clifford on TikTok, and I have a Facebook group called She's an Asset. Love to have you there. Love to hang out with you and get to know you. Thank you so much for supporting my show. Let's continue. Like, let's not take that away. I was scared about that, like all of the things. Then I told you, coaching, and I hired a mentor and this and that, and I started to get the hang of it. And I had been doing some Beachbody and coaching. And so I wasn't new to coaching, and I was actually like really successful. For my little part-time thing on Beachbody, it was pretty impressive, and got the swing of social media. That was back in 2014, 2015, when like social media was like a newer concept. And I started helping women develop online businesses and helping to grow their brands online. Now, I still do it today, to be honest with you, but I did it for a while. I was successful, but I was miserable. The bags under my eyes were huge, and I was gaining weight, and I didn't want to get up. And honestly, I don't think I was serving my clients the best way I possibly could. I'm just being honest. I still have a relationship with a lot of those clients back in the day, like still get along very well. We reach out, they reach out, like we talk. So it's not like they all hate me, but I just know it wasn't me giving my best self. The results weren't exponential. Here's the thing. The universe smacked me in the face. I dealt with some turbulence there because I wasn't listening to my truth. I wanted to help first responders. In fact, what I really wanted to do was help female first responders, because I had faced so much adversity on the job and had gone through things that I did not see a lot of my male counterparts going through. And there was no conversations being had about it other than swallow it, deal with it, and fucking shut up and do your job. But there was no conversations. Like, I just wanted to have conversations about it. I wanted to understand it more. And there was nobody doing that. And that's what I wanted to do. In fact, I had this Facebook group I started way back in like 2014 or 2015, just for women. Like, I could show you guys like this old branding. And it was, there was this quote that I loved, and it was, "I'm not bossy. These are leadership skills." And that really became, for me, like, that was like the whole, like, my brand kind of became all around that, because it really just resonated with me and so many like female officers and first responders that I knew, because we just take charge because we have to. And people call us bossy, and I was like, no, this is leadership skills. I've been told I've been bossy my whole life, and actually I'm just a fucking leader, right? Like, so, and I developed this, and I have like this Facebook, and it's like bossy girls, and it was just, I don't know, whatever, but it was all like for women and first responders. And that was what I wanted to do. But because it wasn't immediately successful, I stopped it. And it took me 2 or 3 years to come back. Yeah, 3 years to come back to this. Okay. And there was a lot of turbulence that didn't have to be there, is what I'm trying to tell you. If I would have just stayed connected to my heart and stayed connected to my truth, things could have been different. I had to learn some lessons, and I learned them. And I'm trying to be your big sister. I'm trying to be your coach right now, and tell you, you don't have to do it the hard way. If you just spent time every day meditating for 10 minutes, turn everything off, be in silence, listen to your thoughts, breathe, do some yoga. Yoga's great. I love yoga. I do it 5 days a week at home. I read really good books, like really good things. I put great content into my mind. I listen to wonderful YouTubes, wonderful Audibles, audios. I take nice walks, go for walks. I work out. Check my social media. You know that I work out, but I take walks because that's connection time for me. And whatever your connection to you is, some of you is playing a sport, it's doing a hobby, it's painting, it's, decorating, it's dancing. I mean, whatever it is, but go spend time connecting to yourself. That is the key ingredient. You're spending all this time looking for somebody to tell you what to do. I'm not that coach. I'm not that person. I'm going to tell you to connect with yourself because you have the answers. Nobody else does. You do. And you can listen to other people. Go ahead. Listen to what everybody else is telling you what to do. And I promise, unless it's fully aligned for you and like your gut feeling like is like, yes, that is exactly that is for me. If you're going against that feeling and you're going with what is in your head and not what's in your heart, you will fail. And you will continue to fail, and you will continue to feel these empty ass feelings that you have until you do what I'm telling you. And that is to connect with yourself, because that is the key to life. That's the key to everything, but it is also the key for you to get over this, we could call it a roadblock. That's how you're going to get through this roadblock. Clearly, you have to take a detour. You can't keep going the way you were going. Clearly, life's not letting you. And so now you have to choose left or right, or you're going to go through the roadblock or you're going to go over it. Choose. It doesn't matter. But I'm telling you, don't decide based on what anybody else is telling you. You have to decide based on you and your intuition and your own inner wisdom and guidance. And again, I'm only giving you this advice because this is the story of my life, and I'm learning it, and I've learned it the hard way. I don't learn much the easy way because I like to think that I know. Like, no. I know what's best. Like, I know what to do. I'm going to listen to this person because blah, 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 blah. They're so inspiring to me, and I want to be just like them. And so I'm going to do everything that they've done, while I'm literally going against every fucking thing within myself, every gut, intuition, feeling, all of that. I'm going against all of it. And that is the problem. So if you are in that spot, a couple of things. You need to do this stuff. You need some help. You can't do it by yourself. That's when you hire me to coach you. So why a lot of my girls hire me. It's like, it's not that they don't know what to do. You guys all know what to do. It's like, but like, how do we get there? And you need someone in your corner holding you accountable. That's when you call me. You're like, all right, I need a coach. I got you. Come into my Facebook group. It's free. It's called She's an Asset. We're starting a book study club. It's a study, like it's a study group. It's not really a club. It's a study group. It's in there. It's for free. It's designed for the strong woman in mind. You do not have to be a first responder to join this group, although you will fit in if you are, and you will fit in even if you are not. This is for strong women. You're more than welcome to come in and start studying personal development books with us. I'm going to go live every week. We're going to have set chapters that we read, and we're going to discuss things, and I'm going to coach you through it. I'm going to, as I'm reading the books, I'm going to, use these as teaching points based on my experience, my clients' experiences, etc. So this is not just like, let's read and discuss. You're also going to be, being coached if you are in my Facebook group. Again, it's free. And if you guys need anything else at all, you let me know. If this resonates, I would love it if you felt like you wanted to share this with somebody who could use this. Share it on socials, share it with somebody, or give us a review. I'd really appreciate that. And until next time, see you later. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the She's an Asset podcast. If you wouldn't mind, could you please share this out? The only way we grow and I can get this out to as many people as possible is with your help. So we're kind of in this together. And the good thing is I know you have my back. So I want to say thank you and ask for you to share the show. And if we're not hanging out in the socials, I hope that you'll come and hang out with me. I'm Autumn Clifford pretty much everywhere. Thank you so much. See you next time.